be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you.
Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and precede him to the other side of the sea, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you in the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you, O little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down, and those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." After making the crossing, they came to the land of Gennesaret. When the men of that place recognized him, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought to him all those who were sick and begged him that they might touch only the tassel of his cloak, and as many as touched it were healed. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Bulang adlaw kanatong tanan. I would not like to, or I chose not to talk about the first part of the gospel reading, which is the walking of Jesus on the water, because this shall be our gospel on Sunday. I'd rather would like to focus my short reflection on that part when Jesus and his disciples got out of the boat after the stormy night, after Jesus walked on the water. And that place is called Gennesaret. Now, Gennesaret is actually another name for Kinneret, which is actually a place that is harp-shaped from its geographical point of view. And it is also believed that it is called Gennesaret because, and even the Lake of Galilee is also called Lake of Kinnereth, or because it is actually like a harp, and whenever there is strong wind from the point of view of the sea, people can hear like music, to their ears, the wind that actually transpires. Now when Jesus entered that place, when Jesus embarked, the people recognized him. Something like a reaction, an immediate reaction of Jesus, who has already become popular. And when they spread the news, it was music to the ears of the people. That's why they came and brought to him the sick people. And what is even very touching here is that they only wanted to touch the tassel of his cloak. This particular gesture of the people that they wanted to is actually related to that woman who was caught in the crowd while Jesus was walking towards the house of a certain man named, the name of the official whose daughter was almost dead, or Jairus, the name, who actually dared to touch the tassel of the cloak of Jesus and who got cured. So this is a particular connection because this is a gesture of daring to touch, daring to be touched as well. And that is what we come here for in the Holy Eucharist. We come here not only to touch the Lord in the presence in the Eucharist, but also to be touched. And to be touched means to be healed. And once we are being touched, not only by the invisible hand of the Lord in the many different ways that He actually do that or does that to us, but also to be touched by His words, to be touched by the gestures that some people would show to us, how they devoted these people are, how our brothers and sisters are also in need, to be touched by the music that we use in the liturgy, to be touched by the so many different presents that we have here, that we come for. And then to be touched by the friends that we usually see, the regulars. And even to be touched by the absence of people who we want to be here also with us. And this is a very beautiful experience, in fact. To come to the Lord, to touch His face, and to be touched by His presence is one Eucharistic celebration. And as we continue with this Eucharistic celebration, therefore, let us always be open and consider this experience as music to our ears, as Jesus has embarked and come into the very shores of this place, where we see the nave, the part of the church which is like the ship, the boat, and we being part of that whole experience, manifesting His presence in our own personal ways and in the ways that He only knows how to touch us. And we continue to thank Him for that. Amen.